nebcbusiness.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Men in Nebraska can be set in their ways, but they can also be quick to change their minds. Just 10 minutes can be enough to step back and rethink the life-ending decision of suicide. If you have a friend or family member who's struggling with depression, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Skip the line and order with our app or online.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Hey racing fans, this is Brie Marie inviting you to join me and James Rowland for the Finish Line every Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Catch up with the local dirt track drivers, national racers, and everyone you need to know about in the world of racing. Don't spin your wheels, hit the gas, and join us Sundays at 7 p.m. for the Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Men in Nebraska can be set in their ways, but they can also be quick to change their minds. Just 10 minutes can be enough to step back and rethink the life-ending decision of suicide. If you have a friend or family member who's struggling with depression, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
All right.
Welcome into the Breeze. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got Haas the Breezy streaming in. And again, no Royals taking over the airwaves as unfortunately, you get 2 nights in a row of just the most insane weather that I've seen in quite a long time. You can imagine it does a little bit of damage. We do got our guy Eric working hard on it. So hopefully sooner than later, we can get everything patched up for you guys so you can get your Royals games back. But in the meantime, I got the boss man, DP, joining me, and Haas the Breezy streaming in. Haas, how's it going on a Sunday?
I hear voices in my head, and they counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
He's so weird.
Sometimes I think you're cool, and then you start to show off like this.
Yeah. He missed it. I'll reset it. Okay. I'll reset the room for you, Harrison.
Boo.
I will reset it. At recent report, as Harrison said, the 2 days of brutal storms here, and that yesterday there were some 300,000 folks in the area without power. Trees down everywhere. The clearing of it. We had folks that came in to the ticket yesterday, to the mill yesterday, just to have a place for Wi-Fi and coffee.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, again, the space that's there. O Street did a pretty good job of staying clear. But there was a lot of shared data with trees in the middle of roads, trees being thrown into houses.
A lot of neighbors are reworking the fence lines.
Yeah, it really is tough. And they said as of 11 this morning that Lincoln proper had gotten most houses or areas back with power. There's some 7,000, give or take, that are still without power in Lincoln. Our tower took a hit. So, which is why the terrestrial radio isn't there, but again, hopefully we've trained folks well enough.
Terrestrial's back. We're back on the FM airwaves.
So they're back there. Then it's just the ability, the transistor that gets Westwood One or
but
outside.
That's the part that's broken. That's not able to grab the signal. But we can stay local.
Well, we can stay local. Which is why we set up. We have 18 hours of local a day, so that will take care of that. It popped up last night during the Westwood One broadcast. We'll miss the Royals, but the Royals will certainly understand that. They've had some issue in their area as well. But 7,000, they've gotten the number down. So shout out to Lincoln Power for getting that number down. I know that outreach areas, Gretna and Seward, are going to be a couple of days without power, even at best case scenario. So the pictures have been there. Shout out to the first responders who have been all over the place. They've been stretched thin. And then within the space, I mean, Harrison Orange has stepped up. So let me say publicly, thank you for making yourself available even in the time that you're not there. Becky's out of town, so some of the communication has had to bounce back and forth. But again, building a roster, that a team of people that you trust in those situations, and the FCC is really grateful to have people in the building who can continue to share what's going on in the community. And it's like, listen, if you want to check in, we had some folks text in and report areas where trees had fallen, power lines were down. There were some grody pictures of power lines being torn, the poles being torn, and the power line being thrown above other power lines.
Yeah, terrifying.
Like it's just a hairy kind of thing. Just go, wow. I came yesterday to help clean up just around the areas of the station. Our dumpsters that normally sit in the alley, they took a run. They were not where they were. The alley took a beating, and then the streets, of course, the trees and the branches as well. So yeah.
And shout out to Tristan, by the way, for making it on Saturdays.
Yeah, for getting in, for Jake Sorensen for making himself available.
Because Tristan, Haas just set the picture. Wake up 5:30 in Omaha. 5:30 in the morning. You wake up in your place. You're hearing about 90 to 100 mile an hour winds whipping up against your windows, and then you hear the tornado sirens, and then you're trying to figure out.
Yeah,
I got to take off for work here pretty soon, but I'm in the middle of a tornado war. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. So again, that's why I was like, Tristan, a shout out. If I were you, like, I don't know what my reaction would have been.
Well, it's the thing, right? That Pete Ferguson was jokingly posting. He's like, yeah, that sound of what's bouncing off the house, those sound like insurance claims.
Yeah.
And that was really the thing. Again, there were a lot of friends of the station that shared pictures and other of what was going on. It was pretty tough. So again, Haas would have no way of knowing how crazy the things were. But
has Haas seen a tornado? Or you, by chance?
Oh yeah, remember I was here last year during.
Oh yeah, of course you have.
Right, like here, but I lived in Utah, lived in Texas. I lived through the big storm, the big thunderstorm, and the day's storm in Houston, where literally, if I 3 blocks in either direction, I would have needed a boat to get down the street. Houston was beat up terribly.
What year was this?
I want to say 2016, 17.
Okay, I do remember this
pretty bad for us to sit through it. Maybe a little bit later than that. They had a couple back to back.
Was that the same storm that eventually just swallowed OKC later?
Yeah.
And then OKC had those crazy, I think it was like an F4 or F5 tornado.
Yeah, this was bad. Northern Virginia, there were several storms. And again, the area, Haas can probably explain it. The area that I lived in Virginia, Northern Virginia, it's heavily treed and wooded. And when, when the storms hit, whether it was a snowstorm, thunderstorm, or otherwise, we had Derrico's several times where the trees would just be pulled up from the woods and thrown into the pool, or thrown, javelin through the fence, right? And I'd come home and, glass table shattered,
Yeah, they're not kidding when they say stay away from windows. When the winds get that high, like it's not.
We had it was such a unique space area, but also the other thing is that when a tree went down the road near my house, you were home, you weren't going anywhere for a few days because there's like 6 houses on the road and there's a 3-mile road with nothing but trees leading to it. Haas would have to dance with me sometimes in trying to get me home. So we went through it's just interesting times, and that was part of the choice of moving in downtown Haymarket. And that also leads me to this, that Haas needs to get to Lincoln.
Yeah, he's not been to Lincoln yet.
Barry's been, Everett's been, my buddy Lossie's been. We need to get Haas. One, you need to get him to a football game. We need to get him to a football game like that. And then I need to get him to a basketball game for Fred Hoiberg. So he has to make 2 trips here pretty quickly, like to get him. He would love game day in Nebraska for football, and he would love Pinnacle Bank Arena and being able to have that proximity to basketball. So Haas, that's a thing we need to get done.
Won't break the bank either. It's just Lincoln.
It's just Lincoln. Well, Haas is big money. Yeah, he ain't got to worry about Haas. Yeah, he'll do that. But yeah, it's a thing. I think, as a matter of fact, if Haas would make this happen, but bring his daughter and let her go over and hang out with the women's basketball team,
that would be sick.
Get that in space too. So Haas, it's there. You started with the great call and the great song that sets the table. What did we learn Friday night? What did we learn Sunday and then Friday? What did we learn? What's new in the WWE that makes sense? Because it was all data. It was like a data dump, right? Of here's the new thing. What did we learn, Haas?
I didn't like John Cena for 23 years. I didn't like him. He was not entertaining. I liked booing him. I like saying John Cena sucks. I like seeing CM Punk beat him. I like seeing CM Punk take the belt and leave. I like seeing other people beat John Cena. It would frustrate me when he was Super Cena. And for him to really show how great he was and how great he is, it took us hating him more and having him be a bad guy. And for the record, I love bad guys. The heels are my favorite. So for him to turn heel, it allowed us to realize how great he was and to make his last run even more memorable. He's getting the loudest pops of his career right now because he turned face. And so it was a really good job storytelling. It was a really good job making us go all through these emotions with John Cena. And now we're like, dang. When he says this is the last time you'll see me in Montreal, and he looks like he means it, and he's getting teary-eyed. Like, we feel it for him. We feel it for the crowd. We are like, dang, this backstage segment with Ron Cena, Ron Truth, Ron Killings, whatever name you want to give him, that might be one of the last times we see that. And like, we were lucky to have him in wrestling for this long, and that's something I would never say about John Cena. So what we've learned is the greatness of John Cena, and the match that he had on Sunday night with Cody was one of the best matches for a guy who can't wrestle, quote unquote. He wrestled really well. He had a bunch of moves. He sold. He was a great actor. It was great cinema. So bravo, John Cena. Bravo, Triple H. Bravo, WWE. Bravo, Cody Rhodes, for bringing out the best in John Cena.
Hoss, here's what we ask in this space that we're aware of. We probably have a deeper understanding of the business that is than most, but there's a thing that happened, and I don't know if Harrison has found his way to it or not, but he probably should. As a matter of fact, most listeners who are even remotely curious or intrigued by art, by entertainment. The Netflix series Unreal is a deep dive into the WWE relationship to Netflix, and it is without a doubt the deepest dive into what it takes to make WWE work. It is the most informative, entertaining, emotional vantage of what actually has to happen in the WWE for an event to go off, or for a story to be developed, or a story to be told, from giving you the real introduction to who the characters are, right? They start with, okay, here's my real name, my government name, and then here's my character names or aliases. And then they go into detail about who these people are and why. Now, most of the people that we've met so far in this story, in the telling, the Unreal, it starts, of course, with Paul Levesque, Triple H, right, explaining who I am and how I'm in this. Then you're going to get introduced to Dwayne Johnson. You're going to get introduced to John Cena. You get introduced to Rhea Ripley in her full form. And let me tell you, when she takes you to her house as her under her government name, it is eye-opening. It is eye-opening that the transition of what has to happen. And then the explanation. Haas will get this because they go into an explanation of WWE going to Netflix, right? And that it's going to change how stories are told and how business is done. Because now you're on the Netflix clock, right? You're on a different clock than you've ever been on, with a different level of accountability and the language that's going to be used and all the things in play. But you go behind the scenes, and of course, what are you going to give Netflix? Why would Netflix, and have Netflix tell you why they would be interested in these WWE stories? The launch into the Netflix era.
It makes total sense. What does Netflix do? Sell you stories.
It's to tell you it's the best thing I've watched, and I've watched some really cool things. But this was like, okay, to tell the story of Rhea Ripley evolving, right? Her failures when she tried to get into WWE and they turned her away. And,
What was she like, gonna get a little bit of spoiler? Like, what was she like first time around?
well, one, she was mainly too young. She tried to get in at 17. And
Did she still kind of always have that.
well, she's
frame,
Australian.
though?
She's Australian.
She tried to look the same as everyone else.
Right. She was trying to be the diva version, right? The pretty diva version. But her telling the story, like taking her to her house and finding out that like she's a taxidermist and she's got like animals in, like it's
of course,
right. Like it's like, oh, you're exactly as bizarre as I would hope you are, and as demure as you can imagine. And then they tell the story of her involvement with Liv Morgan and the Dom story. So go back in time. And then the fact that she tears up her shoulder and that they have to make a decision on whether she's going to have the surgery and how do you write that into the story that is a part of it. And Haas will also tell you this, that when they know that a character is injured or that a wrestler is injured, they have to get a dismount for that injury so the person can take off. And unfortunately, it usually means taking advantage of the injury, right? Live. So Liv and Rhea go through this brawl and they show it. They go back and they show the moment where Liv is giving her the work, throws her into the wall, the bad injured shoulder that's already got the tear in it, goes against this concrete wall. Liv immediately follows and beats it down. And Rhea screaming in her head, somebody please get this woman off of me. Like this is
with the extra word.
Yeah, with a different word thrown in. And you remember the moments, and then it tells you how tough they are, right? It goes through CM Punk and the torn tricep in the match. He comes off where, the story's written that he's going to ascend, but then he tears the tricep in a match. And then they have to redo everything. Haas, this was them telling the Cena story. And in the best part of it, they tell the story of how they decided John Cena would turn heel. And it was not what you were told it was. And it didn't go down the way you thought it went down. And then you get into the people involved, like the people behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz who make all this happen. And the fact that they kept it from everybody. Like the announcers didn't know the heel turn was going to happen. The people, the producers, the people in the big truck with the big satellite and Triple H, it's Triple H. They tell the story, right? In the development of the story to the execution of the story. And they go through, and the only people who know, right? Because they have to come up with the idea. So there's one creative, then there's Triple H, The Rock, Cena, Cody, Travis Scott, because he's going to be the linchpin pivot.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those
and
are the
Khan.
And who?
And Nick Khan.
Yes, Nick Khan. But they called Nick Khan to say, hey, here's this thing that may happen. And so imagine that none of the big bosses who are around this thing know. And none of the wrestlers know. Like bruh. Haas, I don't know how deep into Unreal you've gotten.
I watched it all. Last week.
Oh, it's just no, Harrison. It is the most binge-worthy thing that's been out in a long time.
You told me about it, and I've totally blanked on it. And
it's so good. It's like you're just like
Rhea Ripley's got me curious. Like the taxidermy creeps me out a little bit.
Well,
taxidermy is, I mean, I know friends that do that, but as Rhea Ripley, that's like the last person I expect to be a taxidermist.
Well, Bianca Belair,
CM Punk. People made fun of CM Punk. They're like, "Oh, what a wuss." It's like,
no,
maybe he actually,
maybe he's a really tough guy. Maybe because listen, it's the thing we always say, that we know friends that if they have a cold, they don't go to work, right? Imagine having a torn labrum and showing up to have somebody hit it with a chair and throw it against the wall. No, probably not. The decisions are going to be made along the way. And the access to The Rock and Cena and Punk
and
Cody, like Cody's space, and like Haas, the access to Cody post match after it looked like he'd been to the butcher shop, man.
Which character was like the most surprising by far? Like that just completely flipped your perspective about him or her. And then we got through
Haas, seeing CM Punk being real, seeing that. Watching Unreal before SummerSlam made me realize that CM Punk would win, and solidified that CM Punk couldn't have the belt because of what they showed behind the scenes since he came back and how much he and Seth Rollins really hated each other. So whether it's a work or not, they planted those seeds. And so I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but playing those things, it's like, dude, he did all that with the torn triceps at Royal Rumble to make sure Cody looked good. Right. He did all that, and he was near the end at this year's Royal Rumble, and he finally got to main event WrestleMania, and he lost that despite he could have won it, but he lost that because he was just trying to pay it forward to the business. He was happy and proud. So then I think with that, then they'll give him the main event of SummerSlam, which they did because of it. They gave him the main event. It wasn't Jay and Roman versus the Vision Group. Yeah. So watching Unreal showed all that. And then I was like, you know what? I think they'll give it to him. They'll give it to him. But if Rollins has any shred of a healthy leg, he's going to immediately take it away. Because that's what Unreal showed us.
And then Jey Uso
putting a rocket on his butt.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Right, we got to throw it the break. Yeah. But we got to talk about this more. Haas, you can always take the wheel and take it somewhere else. But don't go anywhere. The Breeze, Haas the Breezy, DP, Harrison Arns. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
In Nebraska, we show up when friends need help. We check in on our neighbors. That's why it's important to know the warning signs of suicide. If you have a friend or neighbor who's withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talks about suicide, find out how you can help. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. You have the power to save a life. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Hey racing fans, this is Brie Marie inviting you to join me and James Rowland for the Finish Line every Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Catch up with the local dirt track drivers, national racers, and everyone you need to know about in the world of racing. Don't spin your wheels, hit the gas, and join us Sundays at 7 p.m. for the Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze. DP's. I made an unfortunate discovery, is why DP is just cracking up right now.
Haas to breezy. It is. So we, Harrison and I, between break, and we'll get distracted and go down the rabbit hole. And somehow it came up. So we're talking about the quarterback show with
QB.
The QB show with Joe Burrow, Jared Goff.
Peyton Manning's on top of everything.
Yeah,
he's on top of the Untold. He's on top of the Untold thing too.
Right. Peyton Manning produced this Unreal thing. Dang.
Yeah,
right.
Unreal, yes.
Right, like he did both of them. So, but through this, right, and I was telling Harrison that, Haas, have you watched the quarterback? You watched this yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I was telling Harrison that I'm such a jerk. I love this whole series so much, but in my heart, I couldn't wait till the last episode. And because it's, all the swag, all the Lions swagger and all the, and then, right, like that the wife is there planning. Yeah, the cool part is we get the next 2 playoff games here in Detroit, and I'm watching, and it hits Harrison Commanders. I was like, yeah, I couldn't wait to watch that. And then for some reason we look at the schedule, and the Bears and Commanders play again this year. Now, for those that don't know, last year, the kind of national emergency in Daniels is the Bears, right? It's the Bears' nightmare. Well, in my head, I'm like, yeah. So Harrison goes, yeah, they play October 13th. And I'm like, where? It must be in Chicago. He goes, no, it's back in D.C. And I went, Holy cow! Ooh.
Why?
What did the Bears do to the NFL to make them not only relive it, but they're going to have to relive it on Monday Night Football? What's the over under for the number of times they replay the final play, Commanders Bears? Hoss, how many times, like that week, that entire week, and then the entire day?
That's all I'm going to see.
Did you know that number 29, Tyreek Stevenson's still on the Bears?
Oh, bro.
Yeah, he's a good player. Just one slip up there.
Bro.
That
It's not a slip up. That end the season for one team and then propelled the other team to go on a run.
That game, even if we win that one, maybe it's a little bit better, but NFC North last year was ridiculous.
It is not going to change.
What was your record going into that game?
Oh,
you guys were decent.
I think we were 4 and it was pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, it just I thought poor Harrison. That
bounce back, it'll be all right. I think.
But why are they back to back in DC? Like, what's the logic? What's the thinking?
You guys were 4-2, and then you lost 10 straight after that game.
Of course they did.
But it's like Thanksgiving, don't call the timeout when we just let the clock run. We missed a field goal. No, we get a field goal blocked by the Packers. I said this last year.
Lost by 1 to the Packers. Lost in overtime on Thanksgiving. Lost to the Lions by 3. Got demolished by the Niners. Lost to the Vikings. Lost to the Seahawks by 3. Beat the Packers by 2.
Oh, that's brutal.
I was watching the Huskers twice last year. Say it lightly.
That's brutal.
Like
close
losses.
I'm sorry, Harrison. You
guys would have been 5-2 coming off a bye.
Doesn't matter.
You would have played Arizona and New England next. It would have been 7-2 if Homeboy didn't go talk smack to the crowd.
Oh man, I don't. Wow, bro, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry.
October 14th.
Around 500 then too.
Bruh, this is crazy. So we were, we were talking about it, and then I shared with him. We came up with a couple of moments from Unreal, on top of that, like the CM Punk, the Cena, the Jey Uso.
Stop! Hold up, bro. Yeets too much. This is the story. He yeets too much. He has no energy for his matches.
He was so tired from the yeeting that he couldn't. He would get gassed during the match
because he's a tag teamer and he can't. So they're like, I don't know if we could trust him. I don't know if we could put him in the main event. Like he can't even wrestle a match.
Story, right? They're telling the story, and then to hear them engage before and then after of, bruh, well done. Like, wow. Like, and there's so many of those stories of people that you want to trust. Like we asked, why wouldn't they trust somebody? Well, there's some other reason, right? There's some reason. But then you hear that. Hoss, I was also telling Harrison that he asked the question, who else surprised you? Who else impressed you? I told him this came out of nowhere. This was out of nowhere. That Chelsea Green,
maybe I love her.
Right? Like it before watching this, if she had gone away, I'd have been fine. But I understand now. I get it. I get it. She cares. She cares about her profession the right way. She gives a damn. Like she gives a damn. Like what do y'all need for me to do? What do you want for me to do? You want me to jump in the dumpster? Okay, cool. You guys want me to, put cake in my face, whatever you want me to do. You want me to, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. Like I didn't understand the whole, U.S. title thing until you go behind the scenes. You went, that makes all the sense in the world, right? It makes all the sense. So again, for those that hadn't seen it, kudos. Go find it, watch it. The explanation factor, The guy that was
Is Zack Ryder too over outside of WWE for him to come back to WWE, being that that's her husband?
well, that's their issue, right? And I think that ultimately he is so well booked outside of the WWE that you would have to change it. But again, who's the guy that, you know, if you say his name,
Dolph Ziggler? Joe Henry.
You're so, yeah, Dolph Ziggler. He says his name 3 times, he appears. Yeah, Henry. If you were gonna use him that way, then yes. But do you already have that in the roster, and do you need another one? Like, they didn't need another Dolph Ziggler. You haven't figured out what to do with AJ Styles. It's also the thing that the new transition of being able to send people down, not down, but over to NXT, right? I'm fully enjoying NXT Nia Jax. Like, that makes sense to me. That's not.
Oh, that's where she is?
Yeah. Well, to not use it, well, she's back and forth. They tend to do that, right? That I want Natty back, and I want hardcore Natty. I want bare knuckle Natty. I don't want, you know, what's in.
I don't watch enough NXT. Is Sol Ruka crushing it? Because she was the person that stood out to me during Evolution.
Their thing is, I mean, they have so much talent. I mean, again, Jordan Grace is just waiting. And they're trying to figure, okay, how would you project her in and to who? But as Triple H said in Unreal, that for every guy at NXT at development who has talent, there's 5 women who are better. He said, I don't know what it is. The women go there, and in 6 months, he goes, the guys are just getting it. At 6 months, the women are ready. Like, they go over, they do what they're told, they learn, they're appreciative, grateful. And that's part of the Zack Ryder deal, right? You have to figure out what that means. But Triple H, I mean, and it's Triple H and Hurricane, you know, Shane Helms, he was saying, yeah, that it's fact that the women are now progressing faster and developing more than the men, and in greater number, which means that a year from now, 18 months from now, those women events are going to be real, and they're going to be popular. So, you know, I don't know who they're going to bring up next, but I would imagine it's a faction. I would imagine it's faction style, like bring over a group.
Set the floor before we go to break here. What do you want to talk about on the third and final segment?
I mean, it was like untouchable before to talk about Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar's back. We got to talk about him after the break.
All right, don't go anywhere. The Breeze, House the Breezy DP. Talk to you in a bit.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed, with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in August. Try their brand new S'mores cold brew with graham cracker cold foam. Also try a S'mores croissant and add cake batter cream cheese to any bagel. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. We only got about 5 minutes left here. Fellas, I'll let you take the floor. Not everyone at once. Oh, Haas, let me unmute you. Never mind. That's my fault. There you go, Haas.
So it's got to be said, when's Vince McMahon going to come out? Because he's coming out. When's he coming out, TV?
Here's my thing with Vince, and you and I have had this discussion off air. I'm not giving any more smoke to Vince. It's the when Maya Angelou says, until we know better, we try to do better. Once we know better, we should do better. That because of the business model and the story, you can talk about the character of Vince McMahon. You could talk about the character that is Brock Lesnar. But when you start talking about the person, it's a different conversation. And again, I have a rule that I would not have conversations publicly any differently than if the person was in the room. And quite frankly, I wouldn't give juice to Brock or Vince. That's a statement in truth. I am of my word. That bringing him back is just a weird thing. I hope it doesn't happen. Just like I would, if I thought it was a bad story, I would say I think that's a bad storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever storyline you're taking, I understand that there are people that want to see Brock Lesnar. I'm not one of them. There are people that want to see Vince McMahon. I'm not one of them. I'm just not. And I'll stand 10 toes down on that. I don't, I've had people from offices. Well, what's the deal? No, I'm just not doing that. I wouldn't do an interview. I wouldn't. So they have enough stories of people who are trying to do good things in good space. The whole point of being heels is to show less than stellar standard and value. So I get that part of it in the business, in the business standpoint of it. But I don't think it's necessary to go all the way back to the days of the Iron Sheik versus, American patriotism versus Iran. Really? Like that's the lowest common denominator. That really is the lowest level of low-hanging fruit.
Not a great time right now.
Right. That you did the America versus Russia. We did that. And in that space, that's what was going on. I just don't want to participate.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what the internet says, but I was curious, and the internet was actually quite pissed by Brock Lesnar coming back. They were like, wow, WWE dropped the ball in this one. So it was shocking. It was surprising. It was something that never was expected. Anyone else could have come out. Anyone else could have made a oh crap type of moment, and they chose to go with Brock Lesnar, and kind of makes you want to focus more on baseball and football and basketball if I'm gonna speak what's on my mind.
Fair enough. I think we can end up right there. Truer words can be said. All right, Haas to Breezy, DP. Appreciate it as always. And all you guys listening, you guys can continue to join in 402-464-5685. We got the YWCA hour coming up next. Those guys pre-recorded, but we'll have it on the FM airwaves and the streams. Be sure to download the Ticket app. Don't go anywhere. More on a Ticket Sunday.